welcome back to the Feminine Health Podcast. Yes, we have a brand new name because I feel like I wanted the name to actually feel more aligned and reflect what I've always wanted to do with this podcast, which is helping women with their hormones and their fertility and all things women's health. So, if you're new here, hi, my name is Eliana. I am a holistic hormone nutritionist and I help women naturally balance their hormones, regulate their cycles, support fertility, and feel more at home in their own bodies again. This podcast is a space for education, empowerment, and real conversation about women's health without any shame, without extremes, and without feeling like you need to be perfect to actually be healthy. I want you to understand your body. I want you to trust your body and make choices that actually feel aligned with your life. And I am really, really, really excited about today's episode. We are rebranding, and this is just so exciting for me. I've actually missed doing this podcast so much, but in the past few months, I've been very, very busy with building a new business, which is so important for me and for the work I do because it is, guess what? A skincare business. You've heard me talk about skincare a thousand times. And, I see it every day in my own practice how skincare actually affects women's hormones, right? And it is so hard to find an actual skincare brand that does not mess with your hormones because even the best skincare brands out there that market themselves are, very clean and organic and natural and all these different things. If you actually look at their ingredients, it is it is jokes. It is just really bad. Anyways, I was just fed up with this skincare world, so I decided to open up my own skincare brand. We make handmade small batch skincare and we use the highest quality ingredients, organic ingredients, super natural. Like these products are actually safe to eat. Of course, don't eat them, but just to make a point. So yes, I've been really, really busy building that skincare brand, and it is the best skincare products out there. I've spent months and months and months formulating, and now we have incredible products that actually work, are effective, and don't mess with your hormones, which is what we want. So, if you're wondering where I've been for the past few months, that is where I've been. But I am so excited to be back, and I feel like this rebrand was absolutely necessary and it gave me a fresh start with this podcast. But I'm so excited to dive into today's episode, and today we're talking about all things alcohol and hormones. And honestly, this is one of the things that I wish we were more educated on earlier, especially right now when we are in the holiday season and there's parties and there's dinners and there's celebrations and there's girls' night out and all the things. I also want you to know that this episode is not about telling you to never drink again. This is not about guilt or restrictions. This is about awareness. This is about choice and it's about understanding your body because alcohol affects hormones way more than women actually realized. And it's rarely something that doctors connect back to, PCOS and PMS and irregular cycles and fertility struggles, anxiety, sleep issues, stubborn inflammation. So, today I really want to walk you through how alcohol actually interacts with your hormones, why some women feel fine when they drink and some women don't, how it impacts PMS, your cycles, PCOS, fertility, endometriosis. We also be talking about when it's most disruptive in your cycle and better choices if you do choose to drink and how to actually support your body after you drink. So, my friends, grab your tea, grab your water, or whatever you're sipping on, and let's dive in. So, first, I want you to know that every body is different. Alcohol does not affect everyone the same way. And how it impacts you depends on your liver health, your gut health, your stress level, your blood sugar balance, your hormonal profile, your genetics. Some women can have a drink and feel totally fine, and other women, like myself, they just don't do well with alcohol. And everything I'm sharing today is based on research, clinical patterns I see with my clients, and actually how your body works. There's tons of studies that show that alcohol is really disruptive for your hormones. So, number one of the biggest players is your liver. Your liver has many jobs, but the two most important ones is detoxifying substances like alcohol and processing and clearing out excess hormones, especially estrogen. So, when you drink alcohol, your liver immediately shifts gears and says, okay, there's a toxin, in this case, alcohol. I need to deal with it first, which means hormone processing and hormone clearing, clearing out excess hormones and estrogen, gets put on the back burner. So instead of efficiently clearing excess estrogen, your liver is busy dealing with the alcohol. So over time, this can obviously contribute to excess estrogen and estrogen dominance. Estrogen dominance doesn't always mean estrogen is like sky high. It often means that estrogen is too high relative to progesterone. So symptoms can look like heavy period, painful periods, intense PMS, bloating, water retention, breast tenderness, headaches, migraines, mood swings, anxiety, especially before your period, acne or hair changes, hair loss. And alcohol can increase estrogen levels, can slow estrogen clearance, can widen the gap between estrogen and progesterone. And this is why so many women notice worse PMS after drinking, especially in the second half of their cycle. And there's also research showing that alcohol consumption can significantly increase the likelihood of PMS symptoms, and the risk goes up as intake increases. So the more you drink, the higher the risk. So now let's jump to progesterone. Progesterone is your calming, grounding hormone. Progesterone supports your ovulation, your regular cycles, your sleep, anxiety reduction, PMS relief. It is so important. Progesterone is one of the most important hormones, let's say that. And alcohol activates your stress response, which increases cortisol. And here's the thing, when your body is under stress, it will always prioritize stress hormones over reproductive hormones because it is trying to keep you safe, right? So higher cortisol means lower progesterone, and we don't want that. And this is why alcohol can worsen anxiety, can disrupt your sleep, can increase irritability, can intensify PMS. Even if drinking feels relaxing in the moment for you, like if you drink after a long day and you're just sitting on your couch and you're just sipping on a glass of wine, internally your nervous system is working harder. Another huge piece is blood sugar. Alcohol can spike blood sugar and then cause a crash, especially if you're drinking without food. And when we have blood sugar dysregulation, it can lead to anxiety, irritability, fatigue, cravings, poor sleep, worsened PMS. And for women with PCOS or insulin resistance, this effect is often much stronger. And during the luteal phase, right after ovulation, women are naturally more insulin resistant. So, adding that alcohol during that window can actually amplify those symptoms even more. If you have PCOS, this part is especially important for you because women with PCOS are at a much higher risk for non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, even if even if you're not drinking, even without drinking. And PCOS livers tend to process alcohol less efficiently. So for women with PCOS, alcohol can actually worsen insulin resistant, can increase androgen levels, can exacerbate acne, hair loss, facial hair, and can further stress the liver. This doesn't mean that you can't ever drink again. It just means mindfulness matters more. And, we just make different choices and we make more informed decisions. Alcohol also disrupts your sleep and circadian rhythm. Alcohol might help you fall asleep faster, but it actually disrupts deep sleep and REM sleep, which are the stages that your body needs for hormone repair and for nervous system regulation. So, if you're waking up in the middle of the night, if you have restless sleep, waking up earlier than usual, feeling tired the next day, these are all signs that alcohol is actually disrupting your body. And your sleep is so important because poor sleep increases cortisol, insulin resistance, inflammation, hormonal imbalance. So, if sleep is already an issue, alcohol can quietly make it so much worse. And something that I see so often, and maybe you can relate, maybe you can't, is that drinking isn't always about wanting alcohol. Sometimes it's just a habit. Sometimes it's just, you have a glass of wine while cooking, a drink to unwind after a long day of work, something you automatically reach for after a long day. This episode isn't about taking that pleasure away. It's about pausing and asking, is this something I really want right now? Or is it just a habit? It's just a routine? Because sometimes swapping that drink for tea or water, mineral water, or something warm is enough to break that pattern. So, if you're really working on your hormones, whether for cycle regulation, for fertility, for overall well being, I often suggest a 1 to 3 month break from alcohol just as an experiment. Just try it. Not forever, not as a punishment, just as information. Just do this experiment. Many women notice better sleep, improved digestion, reduced PMS, clearer skin, lower anxiety, improved cycles. And often, what happens is that when you reintroduce it, you will have a little bit lower tolerance for alcohol, which means you naturally end up drinking less. So, what if you actually choose to drink? Especially during the holiday season right now, there's so many parties, there's so many Christmas parties, get-togethers, and all the things. So I really want to give you some hormone supportive options. So number one, you want to go for clear spirits over dark. You want to avoid sugary mixes. You want to pair alcohol with food always. You want to choose organic wine whenever possible. You want to keep the portions moderate as much as possible. And this is so important because less sugar plus fewer additives equals less inflammation and blood sugar disruption, which is exactly what we want. So now we want to focus on supporting your body after you drink because alcohol depletes nutrients, especially magnesium and B vitamins. So, what you want to do after you drink, you want to make sure you hydrate between drinks. You want to take magnesium in the evening. You want to take adequate B vitamins. You want to drink plenty of water. And the next morning, you are going to want to do room temperature water, warm lemon water, ginger for detoxification and digestion. You want to have a healthy fat and fiber rich meal, and you want to avoid greasy foods. Please, 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 because that will really wreck your digestion. That will really mess up with your digestion. So, this supports digestion, elimination, liver function, and also cycle timing matters. So, if you're drinking alcohol, alcohol tends to be more disruptive just before ovulation and the week before your period. So, those are the times when estrogen naturally peaks. Adding alcohol can intensify those symptoms. So, let's wrap it all together. Alcohol isn't the worst thing in the world and you should be ashamed of yourself for drinking. No, 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 none of that. But it is something that can significantly impact hormones, especially when stress, PMS, PCOS, or fertility are already in the picture. The goal is not restriction, the goal is informed choice. I want you to feel empowered, not confused when it comes to your health, because our health is so, so important, especially for women. Like, our bodies are very different than men. Men have a 24-hour cycle, we have a 28-day cycle. So it's very, very, very different. They can do things that, if we do them, they can really negatively impact our health. But I hope this episode was helpful. Thank you so much for being here with me today. If this episode resonated, I would like for you to share with a friend. Save it. Send me a message on Instagram at healthy with Eliana, ELIANA underscore. This podcast is here for you. I am here for you. I am, if you have any questions, just message me. Message me. I am always happy to connect. This is my passion, helping women with their hormones, their cycle, their fertility. And if you can do me a huge, huge, huge favor, please click the plus sign. That will subscribe you to the podcast, and it really helps me get to more people and more people discovering this podcast, so that we can help more women out there. Whether you're listening to Apple Podcast or Spotify, you can subscribe, you can leave a 5-star review. That all mean the world to me. Anyways, I'm so grateful you chose to spend this time with me. I wish you the best holiday season. Drink responsibly, and if you have any question, just message me on Instagram. Until next time, and take care of your hormones.